much evil in this world, I sit back like, why bother? But get a different view every time that I call daughter. It's like Numi got the Uzi, man, she always spitting facts. She be dropping bombs, make all of them double back. And then the crime raises. It's something that they never gon' get that. But it's cool, let's sit back and chit chat. Unveiled mindset. Unveiled mindset.
Welcome to Unveiled Mindset. Today we're gonna be talking to our lovely lady. Should I say my lovely wife, NOUMSO Kaba, and we're gonna get into some real estate questions today. Some of the questions that can help other out there that's trying to invest or trying to get into real estate. First, like when speaking to a real estate investor, there's several questions that people might want to consider asking to get insight into their experience, a strategy or perspective. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna get into some quick questions as an investor, as in real estate. Should I say? I don't want to say fanatic, but
a fanatic is crazy.
Because real estate is what we pretty much, I would say maybe 65% of our conversation, maybe 70% of the conversation is real estate. There's not a day that go by that we don't talk about real estate. So she might put real estate, change her name to NOUMSO Real Estate Kaba. So we're gonna see. All right, how you doing today?
Doing well.
Good. So how do you feel about being put on not on a hot seat, but being asked questions about as an investor? How do you feel about that?
I'm excited, and I'm curious because I have no idea what he's gonna ask me, guys. So
yeah, that's a good thing about it. So we're gonna ask some challenging questions, and then we're gonna have a back and forth.
Okay. Is that challenging?
Yeah. Okay. So how long have you been invested in real estate?
I invested in my first property in 2021.
I already asked you the first one, right? You said 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Secondly, what type of property do you typically invest in? Like residential, commercial, multifamily, etc. Like which one?
Residential multifamily.
And why is that?
Because I don't know. For now, I'm interested in being a housing solution for people. And so I like the residential aspect of things. Granted, commercial, you could still do residential commercial. But for now I'm focusing on 4 or less units. So that's why. And then also multifamily, I just prefer to have, if I'm going to go through a transaction, closing and all of that, I prefer to have more than one tenant and income stream coming in.
So with the same question, right? There's a follow-up, right? So with the multifamily, right? Is it obviously you say you want more than one tenant? Is it a thing where you want to scale up, even have more door? Yes. Instead of just having one, but to scale up,
Exactly. I feel like it's easy. It's faster to scale the number of doors if I'm buying a duplex, another duplex that's already just with 3 purchases. I have 6 doors. Whereas if it's just a single family house, then that will require me to have 6 purchases. And the other thing too, it's if it's one property, let's say I need to do landscaping or something like that, or certain expenses, or a roof, I'm just doing it on one house for 2 tenants. I'm not doing it on, or I'm doing it on 3 houses in that example. I'm not doing it on 6 houses, So also just the more units, the better for me.
So it's like a 2 for 1 special, 2 for 3 special, one
and 4 for
3
4,
for 1,
or 4 for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it. That's good. That's smart.
Yeah.
So my third question here is what is your investment strategy or your approach? Is it buy and hold, fix and flip, wholesaling, etc.? Which one is your approach when it comes to strategy?
Yeah, I think my strategy is mainly buy and hold. I did do a I wouldn't even call it a fix and flip. I mean, I would call it like a hybrid fix and flip / buy and hold, because it wasn't like I held it for, or I sold it after like 2, 3, 4 months. I sold it after like a year and a half. The opportunity was there. It was a duplex. It was great. And I also wanted to get some capital out of that in order to be able to inject capital into some larger acquisitions.
Yeah.
And so I was able to just do that. But I would say mainly buy and hold. If the opportunity comes, that's really good and it makes sense from a fix and flip perspective, open to it. I haven't yet wholesaled, though I'm not like against it. Anything obviously that it also depends on my time, right? If, what time permits, the opportunities that come and deals that come in. But I like to kind of have my focus, and if other opportunities come about, I'm not knocking them.
So if there's if there's a way of making income, pretty much, there's nothing wrong with that if you got the time to do it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So in terms of like a geographic area, like, do you focus on for your investment? Do you have like a particular area, a particular state, a city that you like focus on? Or let's say like if, you're entering a market, which areas would you tell other people to look into first?
I started in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So Northeast. However, Northeast properties, I mean, they're not, well, depending on where in the Northeast, but like where I was looking in Connecticut, it wasn't like the most expensive part of Connecticut. It was affordable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, it was in the capital or close to the capital.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, and then I also have, interest in the Midwest. So, I'm also growing my portfolio there as well. So we have Connecticut. We do have one door in New York, and then the Midwest. In terms of I don't know what I would recommend to other people. I guess it just depends. Like really, if you're not comfortable investing out of state, then maybe perhaps look within the state that you live in. Look to see, well, number one, figure out what is your buying power. Like how much do you want to actually spend on a property? And then and then also what do you want to buy, right? Do you want to buy multifamily? And then depending on like the state that you live in, some states just different neighborhoods don't have multifamilies, right? They just have single family homes. So then that'll kind of help gear you towards where you can actually buy. And then how much you can afford based on that location. So find different areas close to you. If you are interested in long distance, then do some research and take a look to see like what are some markets that are growing, that are thriving, from a rental market perspective, and then also like from a pricing perspective that makes sense for you.
Yeah. In terms of area,
Mm-hmm.
You say that first looking in your area, if you're not comfortable going out of state, you sometimes that can be like a warm like feeling where you feel like you're closer home and you kind of like closer to your property. That's very comfortable. But would you say, because a lot of people are uncomfortable going out of state to do anything, that's not like in close proximity, because you don't know what can happen, and when you're not there, you don't really have control over the situation.
Yep.
So like, and a lot of people are afraid to like, invest or whatever. So would you say that in terms of investment period in general, including out of state, would you say, is it high risk, high reward, or low risk, high reward, or low risk, low reward, or high risk, low reward?
Yeah, I definitely will not say low risk, high reward. I think anything that's rewarding will have some level of risk associated with it. And yeah, like to your point, if let's say, it's the market that you currently live in is very expensive, and you have to go out of state to find something that's within your buying power. Therefore, you're able to kind of like make more on a monthly basis from your income. Then it is a risk, right? I'm not going to say it's not, because if something happens, if it's close to you, if it's down the street, you can hop in your car and go figure it out.
Yeah.
Versus if it's, hours away out of state, you would have to make sure that you have the proper team in place. You have to make sure that you have the proper
maybe a property
process
manager,
maybe a property manager, trusted individuals in place. You need to make sure you have like repair individuals, contractors, like a team and a system in place that's strong. So
and
that
a good
you
thing
can be
about that
successful.
too, another thing also maybe like having like, because obviously if you're out of state, you might not, if you don't have nobody that live there, you don't have nobody to trust. Another thing you can do is cameras. You can always have cameras on the property. For sure.
Honestly, even if it is in state, like I remember even my property in all my properties have cameras.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. I mean, you said
because
obviously
you can easily look on your cell phone and figure it out. You can call the police, you can call, fire department, you can call whatever. And then it's also motion sensors. Like, so literally as there's motion, you get alerts the same way you get alerts on anything. And then you're able to quickly take a look at it and then see like, who's that stepping up on, like towards, it doesn't even have to be doorstep level. It can be kind of like towards like the, like front porch or front gate.
And so pretty much you say there's risk when it comes to investment, but it's also high reward. So everything pretty much is risky, right? What's the saying? Jim Rome.
Life is risky.
It's so risky that what?
Life is so risky that let me tell you how risky it is. You're not gonna make it out alive.
Yep. So we all gonna go someday. So you might as well go ahead and make an investment and not just invest on anything, but take your time and learn it and then spend your money. Just like you do anything that you ever learn in life. You have to spend time on it. You have to do your research, and then, for example, like this is funny. If a guy like a girl, right, they would go do all the research because that's investing. You're investing your time. Yeah. You want to know what she like. You want to know who she talk to. You actually go talk to her friend like, yo, hook me up with her. And, you would go and buy the latest J's, Jordans, try to look nice. Try to impress her. That's spending time on something. That's spending quality time on something, right? Mm-hmm. That's what. That's very valuable. Time is intrinsic, right? So if you're spending that time on someone, you can do the same thing on your business. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, right? So
guys, he's letting y'all know what he did. That's what you did for me.
Next question. So, how do you typically find investment opportunities?
Typically, how do I find investment opportunities? Realtor, wholesalers. I look at Zillow. I have a ton of different alerts. I have specific alerts from different cities. As soon as something comes on market, I take a look. Facebook groups. Yeah, those are mainly the main areas. Okay.
That was good. So what criteria do you use to evaluate potential investment properties?
I need to run the numbers. So I need to understand like, how much it is currently, like what the sell price is, what is the value of the property, right? Like if I were to get an appraisal or even just do my own calculations, the after repair value, depending on if it needs repairs. I need to understand what is market rent, right? Historically, I used to actually reach out to my realtor and ask them like, what are the sales comp? What's the market rent there? Whereas like, I actually, through our mentorship program and stuff, learn how to efficiently find that out myself, and run those numbers myself. But essentially, those are the main things. And then also understanding like what are going to be the costs, right? Estimated cost, if I'm taking a mortgage out, principal, interest, on a monthly basis, escrow for taxes, what were the real estate taxes in the previous year, which are county records, and you can take a look at that. Insurance, right? How much would home estimated kind of like insurance on a monthly basis? So all of these different things, I take a look and then I understand like, okay, what will my actual cash flow be? And after all of those expenses. So yeah. And one other thing, also the condition of the house is very important, right? Like how much, does it need repair or does it not? If it does need repair, how much would it cost to repair it?
Yeah. So there was a lot of details. So like out of those, like, multitude of detail that you just gave, like what is like the three main focus? Like, for example, right? Like let's say if somebody's just watching this right now, they're like, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah. Right. So that's the reason why I'm saying like, what are the three main focus? Because obviously it's going to trickle down from 1, 2, 3 to the rest of the things that they have to focus on in order to make sure they're focusing on the right property, like in terms of criteria. So what I'm saying, like, what is the 3 main things you think they should focus on first when they're looking for like an investment opportunity? Should they look at the condition of the house first? Should they look at the area? Should they look at compare the house to the other house on the block? Like, what do you think? What are the 3 major things you think they should look for?
So I guess I would say number 1, like, if you're going to be a real estate investor and you want to have a successful career, all of the above, right? And it's important to take time to learn all of the above. I wouldn't recommend going in and investing in a property if you do not do all of what I said plus more that I didn't say, right? Okay. And obviously we can do other videos, and we'll talk real estate more and more to go into detail on some of these like different segment of things. But I want to put it out there: if you want to have a successful career, all of the above. In terms of what I would look for first, right? The first 3, I would say first 3 rather than top, is, so number 1, when I do get, say I get an address, right? Okay, I'll put in Google, and I will also look at the pictures. I'll look at the pictures to see, what does this look like? Is it completely destroyed? Is it turnkey, meaning it's completely ready for someone to just pick up their suitcase and drop it and then move in? Or is it in between? And if it is in between, how much of it is it in between, right? Is it just enough to not be completely destroyed? Or is it like it needs a little bit more cosmetic work? So taking a look at the picture so I understand the condition of the house. That's number 1 for me, because depending on where I'm at in my journey, I may be willing and open to take on like a renovation project, or I may be like, you know what, I'm not, like right now where I am in my portfolio, we want something that's a little bit closer to turnkey. We don't want to put in more money on renovating the property and more time. Mm-hmm. So number 1, look at the picture and figure out like if it's for you or if it's not, depending on like the automatic things that you see. Mm-hmm. And then as you're looking at the list, so I would say look at the listing, mm-hmm. right? So read the picture, or look at the picture, read the description, look at the price, and look at all of those things of the listing. Review the listing. Once you review the listing and you see and you decide, like, you know what, this is a price that I'm willing to pay. Mm-hmm. And it looks like, the conditions like, okay. And, I'll be willing to kind of dive into this project. And the description is giving you some information. The second thing that I would say is, understand if it does need work, how much does it cost to need work? Get to the property. So do a walkthrough, ask your realtor. Yeah, exactly. Ask your realtor to set up an appointment. So you can go and walk through the property, or send a contractor or send someone to walk through the property. And when you do that, you can automatically say, if there is work to be done, send a contractor, so then they can tell you how much, estimated work it'll take. And you can send a couple. I've had projects where I've sent like several different contractors to get a sense of how much something will take. So that's number 2, because now I know, all right, how much it costs, how much it might take to actually renovate the property. Number 3, understand rent. How much can I charge here? Right? Like cost, basically, or cash flow, I would say. How much can I cost? What are my expenses? So those are the 3 first things that I typically will do. Okay. Read the listing, if it's comfortable, and if it looks nice from virtually, get in the door, understand, what is actually wrong with it through the contractor, through an inspector as well. And if it's still kind of like, okay, this makes sense, look at the numbers. I would typically look at the numbers before, even like I would look at market rent, even like way before scheduling to go in there. But look at the numbers. How much can I charge for rent? What will my expenses be? What is my cash flow?
Yeah, I think that was good. Very detail based, and I think whoever's watching it, can just go ahead and just kind of like dissect it and take the information that they need.
Yeah.
And apply it to where it will be valuable to them.
And
so,
if you guys have questions, make sure you leave questions down below in the comment, and we can do shorter videos or shorter clips with responses to those questions.
Yeah. Next, well, the reason I set up those questions for a reason, and these next questions are gonna be more like, kind of like not poking, but it will kind of like open up like real experience and real stories of things that happen. But the reason why I did it that way is because, like, for example, somebody's watching this right now, like, do you think that those questions that I just asked you and those answers that you gave, do you think if somebody's watching this right now, they would just skip this, or they would sit there and watch it? Like, and I'm not talking about a real estate fanatic, because, a real estate fanatic would just, whatever they see, anything real estate, they would just go look at it.
Like me.
Right? So, yeah. So, what I'm saying, do you think, like, anybody random, like, maybe probably thought about real estate, let me just click on this, and, based on the interaction, the questions, and the answers, you think they'll go like, oh, this was enjoyable?
I think so. I think they would say it's informative. Like, I think, like, people like
is good, but
people, but I think that anyone looking to make money anyway is looking to, okay, let me learn as much as I can. I don't know. I think that's what I think. And I think real estate is a very hot topic right now. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to transition and cross over, and they're trying to gain as much information as possible. And, different people have different nuggets.
Yeah, no, I agree. So what if I said that the answers, and based on my questions, let's say, we're both in this together. Let's say I say that this was boring. Like, I would skip this, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like, whatever, bro. I hear real estate. Everybody get on here, just say whatever. Everybody want to be somebody, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Or act like they're important. Mm-hmm. So let's just say, right? I'm a guy, a person that I find it boring, right? Oh, boo, whatever. Obviously, you saying money. Boo. Everybody want to make money, right?
Yes.
That's good. Everybody want to make money, but like the time that it take, right? The time is it's time consuming.
Yes.
So it's like, that's not a fun part, right? Yeah. We're sitting here 3 a.m. in the morning doing this right now, right? It's not fun, and, basically you get the point. So, okay, I'm looking at it from this perspective. This is boring, right? Like, what can you say, right? Let's say, what can you say right now, looking at the camera, that can make not everybody, but at least a good amount of people say, oh, like, I like that. Like, I don't know, this real estate is boring, but she said something that just stood out to me, and I can take that with me, and hopefully down the line, or maybe the following month, I get into real estate. Mm-hmm. What is that?
Okay, I'm going to take a step further back, even if it's not real estate, but getting into what you need to get into and starting what you need to start. Because I was once an analysis paralysis fanatic, meaning researching, reading, and not actually taking action. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, like that quote from Jim Rohn, like that aspect of, there's a risk in everything that you do, okay? Like, life itself is risky. You're not going to make it here out alive. Like, time, I feel like people wake up and then realize that it's 10 years down the line, 15,000 years down the line. Mm-hmm. So the time to really take action is yesterday. And, if you miss yesterday, the next best time to take action is today. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that I would say is, like, from whether it's based on my experience and based on my industry, or, whether you want to tune in because you want to, stay tuned to our journey. But I think that, like, it's important to start your journey. If you're happy where you are and, doing the job and everything that you are, that's perfect. That's fine. If you feel like you want something to call your own, that you're going to be able to give that legacy to your children, and you're going to be able to really have that freedom. Like, you ever feel like you want to have a freedom to to manage your own time, freedom to, if you want to spend time with your family, right? If you want to spend time with your parents, if you with just your loved ones, and you have that freedom, how many people can really say they have freedom to spend as much time as they want with their family? Yeah,
no, that's true.
How many people can say they have the freedom to spend as much time with their family?
Yep.
Not the majority of the people. You can think you do, but no, if you have to get up, if you have to go, travel for work or do this or do that, like maybe perhaps even if you're working from home, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're working from home, you're still kind of like focused in doing like you don't have the freedom to say, you know what, for these next like 3 weeks, I'm going to spend 100% of that time with my family.
Yeah.
You don't. Most people don't.
Got
If you're doing things for yourself, if you're establishing businesses, if you're establishing streams of income for yourself, and that you do not need to rely on anyone else or anything else, yeah, of course, being an entrepreneur is not easy, right? You end up working hard as well. But my point is, you're able to get to a point where you can get that freedom if you set processes in place.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting until you're 65 or 70
Now that's
to
true.
do so.
I agree with that, right? So when do because there's a thing about like self realization or being in the present, right? So it's like a lot of time, like I'll tell you like, yo, we got pause, just look at everything, soak it in, and be like, ooh, look what I did, right?
Yeah.
So it's like to be in the present, because like none of us is gonna be here forever, right?
No.
So just make sure you're enjoying the present, right? So my thing is, I can say everything you just said right now, like I agree with it, because I have self-realization. I didn't come to grips with like certain things that I know that I need to accomplish, same as you. So what if I'm playing the devil advocate here, right? So boom, okay, like nobody cares what you're saying right now. Like nobody cares. Like I don't care what you say, it doesn't matter. It's like it means nothing to me. So like that's how people really be thinking. And you can sit here and say all the pretty things and nice stuff you said. It doesn't make people budge. Like negativity make people budge. So the whole point of this segment is, how can real estate make somebody budge?
Honestly, I think that like
for what's exciting about it? Like you're in it, right?
Yes.
Sorry, not to cut you off. You're in it right now, right? So you already know like the excitement. Like, like what can you post about really? Somebody like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, that was fun. Or there's nothing fun about real estate.
Here's the thing. To me, it's fun for those who will have interest in it.
Correct.
Right? The same thing as like if someone were to post about
a success.
Those like sales people, like those businesses that have like it's a big selling thing, and then everyone kind of have their own store, and then they're able to like grow their own business, sell. Like there's certain things that make a ton of money that I have zero interest in. It's not my interest, right?
Correct.
Acting, singing, rapping. I don't have an interest in it.
I'm talking about the people that talk about they want to do real estate.
Yes.
Like they want to, but they just don't. Analysis paralysis. They're stuck in that.
Yeah, but
how do you get them to go, ooh, like that's it, right? That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So okay, because I want to just make clear that like
it's not for everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's 100% not for everybody. And it depends on what you're interested in and what makes you excited. Yeah. And then also like I really try to not make it my business to motivate people that are not self-motivated, because I don't want to over exhaust myself. I think that like I try my best to motivate others and people to, do what they need to do and stuff like that. However, you can only be helped if you're ready to be helped, right? I can't do something for someone. They will have to want to do it for themselves. Yeah. So, for, anyone that is kind of, like they're, it's not for me, or just in general, like I'm not motivated. I don't really care about it's fine. No, not everyone wants freedom. Not everyone really cares about those things. Yeah. Correct. So for me, what's important for me is when I'm talking to people who have that interest, right? But that are afraid to just get started, and they just want a little bit more guidance. They want to see that like, they can, that they want to see that like, okay, someone young is also kind of doing what they're thinking that they want to do. It makes it like a little bit more attainable. That's like where I'm focused on. Yeah. And so with those people, like it isn't attainable. I used to also kind of think like, okay, perhaps I'm going to get a house when I'm like 30, 40. You know what I'm saying? Or like it's like older people that are doing it. Yeah. What I ended up doing is consuming consistent content of young people that look like me, or even if they don't look like me, but like young people who are relatable, who are doing these things. Who are motivated and who are taking action. Yeah. Because if you see people that are young, that are around, or and I'm thinking, because right now I'm talking to like the young folks who are kind of like, okay, I kind of want to do it, but I'm stuck in analysis paralysis. Or even if somebody's older than me, right? When you look at someone who's of your age mate and they have had a certain level of accolades, or they've gotten started and they're moving and they're figuring it out, it makes it relatable to you. Because, oh wow, you've gotten it. So let me try to get some information and let me try to see and learn and stay on your journey and be, almost like an accountability partner, like a virtual accountability partner, like, let me comment down here like, oh, I'm actually interested. I just bought my first property. We're going to like, congratulations. Let's go on this journey together. Yeah. Because we're here to document our process and our journey. And we want like, and, those who are like-minded to join us on our journey. Share your accomplishments. Share the fact that, actually, I went on Zillow today. Yeah.
I agree.
So I think relatability, like seeing people actually make action and get started and do it, makes it so relatable. That's what made it relatable to me.
I agree. So pretty much and
attainable.
So it's not for everybody. You're just simply looking for your kind. People that have the same mindset, same drive, same interests, pretty much.
Yeah. And if it's not for those, like, and it's not even like I'm only looking for, okay, real estate, this and that, right? Like, do whatever makes you happy that you want to do. Like, if there's something, my main thing is, if you keep having thoughts about something specific that you want, right? Something that you want to achieve, a project that you want to do, a business that you want to start, a career path that you want to explore. Yeah. Like, my main thing is, irrespective of what it is, do it. Yeah. Try. Like, baby steps. You don't have to figure the whole thing out today. Do the research, figure out, okay, how do I get from here to there? And dice it up. This week, what am I going to do? Next week, what am I going to do? My main thing is unlock your potential, and like, because it's one thing to have potential, it's another thing to actually be able to use your potential and put that and do something with it. Yeah, you don't want to, they say that the richest place on earth is the graveyard, because you have a ton of people that have died and that have died with their dreams, and literally their ghosts and their spirits are like, damn, I had all this potential, I had all these dreams, I had all this passion, but it died with them. Yeah,
I agree. So next question. Can you share any success story or notable deals from your real estate investment experience?
Yes. And let's put the episode link down below. Check out, I went into detail for one of my investment properties. I sold it. I made over 6 figures from that sale. I held it only for a year and a half. And I did renovation to it and all of that other stuff. But I did get rent, from it as well during the period. So it was an amazing experience. It was a huge learning curve. Right. And this is before I got into it before we were married. Right. So it was a scary thing to be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to just purchase this property by myself and like, all of these responsibilities. But it was so rewarding. It was such an amazing experience. Growth only happens at time of adversity. So when you are, when things are happening and you have challenges, that's at that point you're growing, and then you're stronger for the next time. But we're going to put that link down below so you guys can check it out. I went into it in detail. Okay.
No, that was good. So next, how do you mitigate risk in your real estate investments?
Mitigating risk, I, number one, do my due diligence by running all the numbers. that I can, to the best of my ability to make sure that financially it makes sense, and then some, right? I'm very, very, very conservative. Conservative meaning that, like, even if in my analysis, I'm not, yes, I consider market rent, but also I knock down a couple, knock down from that price. Like, what if I wasn't able to get market rent and I need to pay my expenses? Then what? What if I wasn't able to get rent at all and it's vacant for a very long time? And am I in a position where I can financially support my own lifestyle and everything, and then in addition to the liability and the expenses of this opportunity or of this property? If the answer is no, I'm not going in it. That's just kind of how it's been for me. Like, if I can't personally like afford this added on bill, I'm not going for it, because anything can happen. Gotcha. And then also, like, saving on a monthly, like, I don't take anything out of the business from like a spending perspective, right? I'm still working. I work full time. I enjoy my job. So I'm not taking anything out of it. And so therefore it's going right back into the business. It's going, you need to build vacancy reserves, right? Saving account for the property and whatnot in case of rainy day. So I think, like, protecting yourself by making sure you have funding, that you have access to capital, and that you're able to tackle any kind of rainy day that may show up. And then also making sure that when contractors do work and when things are done, it's done safely, because these are people's lives that you're housing people. People are sleeping in these places. You want to make sure it's safe for people.
Okay, that was good. Next question. How do you stay informed about the market trends and changes in the real estate industry?
That's a good one. I would say my realtors, they send me like automatic messages. They send me automatic messages, like emails and stuff like that. Also, like, news. Now we live in a day and age where, like, depending on what you follow and what you like, the algorithm keeps showing you those same things. So I would say, like, my socials are filled with people who are also in the industry. And that's the advice that I would also have for someone who's looking to get interested in, like, follow people who are doing what you're doing, read it, watch it, and all of that. But yeah. So
make sure make
stay
sure
connected.
You follow the algorithm of whatever industry that you're trying to focus on.
Exactly. And then, naturally through that, like even seeing, like, I follow, like, a lot of, like, news channels and outlets. So pick up, the newspaper and see what's happening. And then also my job, I learn a lot. So
that was a good answer. Okay. So, have you faced any significant challenges or setback in your real estate investing journey, and how did you overcome them?
Significant challenges. Yes. One of my tenants was just a pain in the what. He was very, 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 very much a pain, and tried to make everything difficult. Essentially, he had he and his fiance rented out the unit, and after several months afterwards, he ended up losing his job. And his fiance had just given birth, and so she had like a C-section. It was like maybe a month afterwards, and so she started working. She was working from home, and so and the way that I even found out is, like, one of my contractors went there, and he was just like, oh, I need new floors, and I need this, and I need that. And telling him, like, can you believe, like, my rent is so high? I don't know about this rent amount. Mind you, he had been in the unit months, right? So when you first got there, rent wasn't high, but obviously he lost his job and stuff. And so he was trying to find anything and everything to make an excuse to not pay rent. And he told him, like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home dad now. And, cause he lost his job and et cetera. But, like, he was calling and, making, what is it called? Making complaints about all, like, little things, right? Things that, like, the contractor or the property manager will go, and it's nothing. It's not even, like, an issue. But I think it was all to kind of like build out and, you know, his narrative of like, oh, you know, this isn't working, so like my rent should be lower because of this, or blah blah blah.
Gotcha.
So he was a headache.
So yeah, that's tough. That's challenging. So this question here, is gonna be
also finding good contractors.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a bundle of a question. It's like a burrito, right? This is the burrito question here. So
Burrito.
First is, do you have a long-term vision or goal for real estate investment portfolio? That's one. And to kind of like wrap it up, this is the burrito question. Do you feel like no, we don't do feel. Do you know, or do you think that real estate will save your life and also retire you early?
Okay.
And when I say save your life, it's not a matter of life and death, meaning it would set you on the path of your long-term goals.
Okay.
And making it come even like
faster?
A lot faster, right? Meaning like save my life, because life is not easy. I'm just saying like
save me time.
Exactly. So
okay.
That's me exaggerating when they save your life.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yes, I have a long-term goal, and yes, I think that growing in this business will allow me to achieve my long-term goal faster.
Got you. And to touch on the save your life part, the reason why I said that, because let's unpack in case somebody's confused. The reason why I said that, because we had conversation in the past where we believe that whatever your focus is, whatever you invest your money in, and and if that investment ended up becoming flourishing and becoming what it is, let's say blossom like a flower, hopefully, right? In a sunny day, you know, whatever.
The visuals.
Yeah. So I'm saying that saving your life mean you have more time to spend with your family, which bring you good joy, good health, happiness. That can prolong your life. That's saving your life, and that's because of real estate. And another thing is real estate. Let's say you got a good portfolio, and you got all of these properties, all of these doors that's making you money, that's bringing in cash flow monthly, quarterly, annually, and you're looking good, right? I'm saying that not only you can spend time with your family, but you can also provide them with good health benefit in terms of getting them the right doctors, the right treatment, the right surgery, like, because you have the money to do so.
Money makes a difference.
Or you can even use that money to we talk about always eating healthy, right? Because the better you eat, the longer you can live. So that's what I'm saying. Can it save your life? Because I have to. It's the burrito question, which I had to pose, because you and I understand it, but to have the audience understand what we're talking about when we say, can it save your life? That's what I meant.
Yeah, no, that is valid. Like healthcare, and it's interesting, and we can get into this discussion during another episode.
Correct.
And podcast episode, but like, funds and having access to resources can be the difference between life and death.
Yep. And last question to kind of wrap it up. Are there any lessons you've learned along the way that you would like to share with other aspiring real estate investors?
For aspiring real estate investors, just start. What is the worst that can happen? Not death.
Get up and
not
go.
Like, you're not gonna exactly, like, it's the worst that can happen is you fail, right? But like, the thing is, failure, so long as you're on this earth and you're living, you have the chance to get back up and do it again and do it better.
Yeah.
And learn. Like, reach out to watch as much content as you can consume. There's so much free content on this internet.
Yeah.
There's so much access to content, right? Learn, read books, right? Like, pick up, ask whenever you meet a real estate investor, ask them, what is your favorite book? What's a book that you recommend? Meet like-minded people. Go to networking events where you have other investors. Go to meet mentors, right? Have somebody mentor you. Maybe go into a deal with them together, right? If it's someone that you trust. But whatever it is, like, don't feel as if it's not attainable to you, because it is.
Yeah. I agree. Like, you know, and also, like, if you have and I'm speaking from experience, if you have like a bad habit, or if you feel like, we were talking about this, if you feel like you're always bored, obviously that means you're not being efficient in your life.
Yeah.
Or you're not, you know, you're not working toward a goal. Because if you're always bored, then you have a lot of time on your hand.
Yep.
And that's very important. You know, you change your habit. There's like a saying, a rapper said this, right? He said that life don't come with a remote. You got to get up and change. Right? Like, you know, remote TV, you know, you got to get up and change. This ain't no remote. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
So I really like that saying, and that stuck with me. And I always think about that. So I always carry that with me. But yeah, overall, that was, you know, Noumi and, you know, Dauda real estate conversation.
Yep.
We're going to have more of this.
In the background.
Yeah, we're going to have more of these conversations in the near future. And, you know, and if you like this, you know, content, just like, comment, subscribe.
So much evil in this world, I sit back like, why bother? But get a different view every time that I call daughter. It's like Noumi got the Uzi, man, she always speaking facts. She be dropping bombs, make all of them double back. And then the crime raises. It's something that ain't never gonna get that. But it's cool, let's sit back and chit chat, unveiled mindset.